Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you two fairly easy to grow foreground plants that won't require super high light or CO2, probably medium light and some fertilization, and that's basically all you need. So I just did a water change in this tank. This is a 30-gallon long. As you can see, we got a few different plants in here. This is Pogostemon stellatus octopus that I'm growing over here. And then here we have the two foreground plants that I'm talking about. Here is Jin Repens, and then here is Hydrocotyle species Japan. And then this is not a foreground plant, but this is a pretty cool mid-ground plant. This is Jin Repens. It gets about 5 to 11 inches under lower light, so not really a foreground plant. And then there's some Bacopa in the back there. But we're going to focus on these two plants right here. Alright, so first we're going to look at the Hydrocotyle species Japan here, which is a really easy plant to grow. It's from Southeast Asia. Under low light it will grow, however it'll grow insanely slow. The leaves will get big. If you want them to be small and compact like this, basically the higher the light, the more compact, closer to the ground it'll be, and the smaller the leaves will be. Now another cool thing about this plant is you can actually train it where to go by where you clip it. So if it starts spreading runners all over the place, like if it's spread over here and over here, you can clip it over here and it'll continue to run over here, and you can kind of train it to where you want it to spread runners. It can also be grown as a floating plant, which is really cool. It's just a pretty overall rad plant to have in your aquarium. Now as far as water parameters for this plant, it is very forgiving. pH 5 to 7, temperature down to 50 up to 86. You could grow this thing outside. I'm going to try to put it in my ponds when I get them. Carbonate hardness is 0 to 14 degrees, general hardness 0 to 30. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than this. And like I said, as far as propagation, it'll just send runners. You can also cut the stems and replant them, but I just like to let it send runners. You know how I do it. I just let them grow wherever they want, jungle style. That's kind of my deal. But if you want to do this in like a cool aquascape, you can definitely just cut them and put them where you want. So the next plant we're going to look at is Jin Repens, which is this one here. There's one in the back. I've also already cut it and put some over here as well. This is growing really fast for me and really well, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm hoping to carpet this whole section right here with Jin Repens, and then Hydrocotyle Japan, and then the Jin Repens over here, but I don't really know why I put that over there, but I'll probably move it back over here. Maybe I just wasn't thinking when I put it over there, but anyways. So the Repens is going to be a little bit harder to grow than the Hydrocotyle Japan, not by a lot, but it does require maybe a little more light, and if you give it CO2 it'll be happy, but I'm growing it without CO2 in here. I'm not even dosing liquid CO2. I actually don't even use liquid CO2. I don't think anybody should, but that's a whole nother topic. Alright, so like this plant, pH 5 to 7, temperature not nearly as cold. This thing's not going to do well mid 60s and lower. Probably 67 is the lowest I would take this plant, but it can go up to 86, so it does like hot water as well, so it'd be good for like discus, cardinals, rams, things like that. Now as far as propagating this plant here, pretty easy. It will send runners, but not traditionally. You can see it kind of spreads these little guys over here. I cut those and then replant the stems is how I do it. A lot of people just cut the tops off and replant them. Either way works. They kind of send runners, but it's not through the substrate. It just kind of gets a little bushier and bushier as it goes. Now both of these plants can be grown immersed, which is nice. So if you have a paludarium or a vivarium, something like that, it's a good plant, especially the species Japan here. This is a really good plant to grow, like if there's water here, it'll grow up out of the water and then up onto the shore. Really cool plant for vivariums, paludariums, you know. So that's pretty much it. We have two fairly easy to grow carpeting plants here. It's a pretty common question, so I thought I'd show you what I'm working with here. Now if you see all these little fish swimming around here, I'm pretty sure that these are stowaways that came in as eggs or something on these plants. I have no idea what they are. I can't even guess. They're so small. I don't know why I just tried to poke that dude. I have one betta left. This guy right here leaves these little fish alone, also leaves the shrimp alone, which is nice. There's also a pleco in here. There's his cave. There's a male albino pleco hiding, but I don't see him in here anywhere. But anyways, I'm really looking forward to seeing what these little stowaways are. They're really long and slender. Like if I had to guess, obviously I'm going to guess rainbow fish because that's what I want, but maybe like a Madagascar rainbow. These came from Florida out of a pond, so they could really be anything. But to me they kind of look like Madagascar rainbows, although I highly doubt it. I'm not that lucky. they'll probably just end up being like stickleback minnows or something basic like that. They're eating tetra granules of all things, so we'll see. Be fun to see what they grow up to be. Alright, there you go. 2 easy to grow foreground plants. Probably one of the most common questions I get on the live stream when we actually talk about aquariums or fish related topics. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget we do have the live stream Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific now, so if you got nothing to do, you should come hang out. We'll talk about fish and whatever else you want to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.